Hello, everyone. Welcome to Summer Nights. It's August 5th. It always creeps up on me on the 5th. I was just talking to somebody and she said, I can't believe it's Summer Nights. And I said, I know, it seems like it was just yesterday. We had a casual summer check-in. But I'm excited for tonight. We have a amazing lineup and it's just gonna be a great night. And I want to talk about passions. What are you most passionate about in life? There's many passions, but there's got to be just that one thing that you're just the most passionate about that just makes you smile every time you think about it and just sparks so much joy. So I am excited that you are all here. Thank you for coming to Summer Nights and showing up. I think that's so important. I am just blown away. Every 5th and 25th comes rolling around and here you all are. So thank you. Thank you so much. And okay, my first guest just came on. I'm so excited. So excited for you all to meet her. And I was just discovering that our 1-year friend anniversary is coming up. So I'm excited about that. Okay, well, just without further ado, let's bring her on. Hello, Annette.
There we go.
Did you know that our 1-year friend anniversary is coming up?
I did not. I can't believe it's been a year already. My goodness.
I know, right? Okay. Before we talk about that, though, I would love for you to introduce yourself to everyone.
Hi, everyone. My name is Annette. I am also the owner of Aurora, for those who know me by Aurora Global. I am a person with CF, or cystic fibrosis, for those who are not familiar. And I am joining Summer here today.
Yes.
Being chill.
Yeah, we're just hanging out. It's totally casual. This is your first live, so which I think is I love when I can be a part of somebody's first live experience. So thank you for letting me be a part of that. And so I was just telling everyone that it's our 1-year friend anniversary coming up because we met at BreatheCon last year. And last year they had on BreatheCon, they had this new platform and it was called Hop In. And you could do a one-on-one chat just like this, but you would press you would go into the one-on-one chat and it would match you with somebody. But then when you were starting to talk, the timer, there was a timer and you only had 3 minutes. And so I think you were my first conversation. It was the first time. So we really didn't know what we were doing, and because it was new, and you only have 3 minutes. So it's like speed dating, and you're just
yes!
You want to say all these amazing things, but then it just cuts you off. And then after so we had our conversation, and then at 3 minutes, and I think we were mid talk, and then it cut us off. And I was like, no, because we were it was the great conversation. But then as the night had progressed, I knew that we could, there's a way to extend the time. But when we were talking, I didn't know that. And so it was such a bummer. And then I was immediately, I need to find her. So I found you on social media. Yes.
I'm so glad we found each other, and we kept kind of running into the same spaces ever since. And it's just been kismet. And I'm I've been trying to get back to our conversation for a year now.
Yes. And then we just saw each other at VLC. So you had joined the panel that I was speaking on, and then they put us in breakout rooms, and we got matched into the breakout room too, which was so awesome. And I loved our conversation there as well. So I was come on Summer Nights, and then here we are. That brings us to the present moment. But
to the present
moment. So you are so creative, by the way, so talented. I love all your work, and you're a fashion designer. Like the things you make are so incredible. Will you talk a little bit about that? Of course.
Sure. Yeah, that for me, that is my meditation. I have been doing costume design for a long time. I grew up sewing. My mom taught me, her mom taught her, and it was just like doll clothes, Barbie, until I got older. And it was always kind of a hobby. Eventually, I did go to school and, got a lot more into the industry and learned about tech design. And it really helped me hone those pattern skills. And even after I left the private sector and doing design work and tech design work, I still do my costume work because that's what my passion is. I really love doing those like crazy outlandish costumes, working with all these different types of materials. It's so much fun. I have loved just even the shopping part of it. Who doesn't love shopping?
Who doesn't love shopping?
Shopping with like, the fabrics, all different types of materials, even making props. I've just started kind of getting more in depth into that, doing some light leather work. I want to get into some woodwork now that I have space to do that. Nice. It's so much fun. But I do now kind of find myself more in like a community advocate position, especially now that I've been getting a lot more involved with the foundation.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been trying to kind of find a way to bridge the gap too. I'm on my way, especially working with the con coming up.
Yes, FamilyCon.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you're on the committee for FamilyCon.
Yes.
And what is family? For those that don't know what FamilyCon is, will you explain what FamilyCon is?
So FamilyCon is, really focusing on the vision of the foundation to help people understand more. We want to support the families of those living with CF as well as those with CF to come and network, to find, an extended family and a group outside of, any convention so that you can continue to gather resources, gather support, share stories, learn more about what's going on with research. It's so much. This is my first FamilyCon, actually. So
okay, and FamilyCon, it's not just for people with CF. It's for caregivers, grandparents, siblings, and it's, I believe, 16 and up. Is that correct?
It's 16 and up. I'm trying to see if we can. I mean, of course, if you have someone who is younger, if there's someone that can assist them with, getting on, it should be open, I feel, to all, because we do want to really get the awareness out there for those who may not know much about it. Yeah. So that's something we have been discussing and planning as well.
Oh, okay. Well, that's exciting. I mean, I think because of I just think, just at VLC, we heard all these, the statistics from the 2021 patient registry, highlights, that 60% of people with CF are adults, 18 and over, which is incredible. And then more people are having children, and you're a mom, and yes. Right? Yes. Okay. And how amazing would it be to hear from children of adults with CF? Yes,
that's exactly it. It's that's part of the support group. That's part of the team. Right. That is what helps anyone with CF, feel alive. Yes. We face so much and so much on the brink of, end life type of decisions and plans. We need our family, especially the young children, because, with you, CC Life, you want to always have that, in your corner. And of course, you want them to understand what you're going through and know that, that's just a part of my life, Yeah. That's why we really want to focus on also the stories behind people with CF who we love and why we love them. It's so this group, and I don't know what it's been like in the past, but we are so different, but we are connected with CF, right. And we have so much in common. Right. Even though we're different perspectives on everything, but had we not been, in this committee, so many things that we would not have known about each other that we are all facing that we are not even speaking about.
Right. Right. And so, and I think that's important. And I was talking to Pamela, who is the co-founder of Beam, and we are actually doing a session at Next Breath, which is on Tuesday, and you're going to Next Breath. I think we had talked about that, yeah, at VLC. And so we were saying that same thing. We were saying, like, what should we do for our session? And I was like, let's just have a real, honest, raw conversation around these things that we don't talk about, because and I was like, and we'll have to put a trigger warning, because like we're talking about you know, advanced lung disease, I like to call it established lung disease, and exercise, which come all the scary things like hemoptysis and shortness of breath, and like all these things that are really scary. And so I think, you know, it's like we want people to know that's what we're going to be talking about, but you know, it is scary, but it's like nobody talks about it. That's why it's so scary, I think. And so I think if we,
yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
I was just going to say that was something that was kind of reverberated at the VLC. In one of the breakout rooms, people have, you know, issues, angers that they don't have a platform to really get out and share with other people who may feel the same way. And we need a space for that in these type of cons. You know, just sometimes it's like, you know, we go through a roller coaster all the time. And it's like, sometimes you're just at that top where they're taking that horrible picture because you're about to go. And it's like, you just want to share that, because in that space, you have support.
Right.
And even though it's like, you know, we need that trigger warning, but it all comes out to something wonderful.
Right. And I think that too is so important, because you're not alone, right? We're not alone. We're all going through these hard things, and to know that we're all in it together is like, it is just like you're saying, like everybody on the committee for FamilyCon that you've been speaking with, like you're all doing it, like it together, and like you all have this, like this common bond with which is CF. And you know, I do think that it is such a blessing in disguise to, like, because we wouldn't be talking right now, like we wouldn't be friends if we didn't have CF, right? So it's like, we would have never even met. So I'm so grateful that, you know, this bond that we do have, that it's the bond that brings us together, but also keeps us apart because we can't be together, right? But I'm so grateful that there's, you know, technology, and there are these like platforms like FamilyCon and BreatheCon where we can be together and celebrate like the wins, but then also like help each other through these hard times.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And I think you know, and just like, do you know, is FamilyCon going to be on Hopin as well?
They are working on it.
They are working on that still.
Yeah.
So
there's
yeah,
a couple of different platforms that we are looking at.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and I think Next Breath, that's on Tuesday, that will be on Hopin. So it'll have the speed dating or the speed matching. I don't know what it is. So maybe we'll get matched again. I hope so. Yes, thank you, Marissa. When is FamilyCon?
FamilyCon, let me check.
No, I'm here.
Uh-oh.
Okay,
I'm back?
you're back. Yeah, you're back.
It's the same time as BreatheCon.
For a second.
It's unfortunately going to be the same time as BreatheCon.
Oh, really?
We're making this BreatheCon. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I don't even know. I don't know when that is. So yeah, can you hear her now, Marissa? Anthony's saying, "Oh no, the internet." If you guys can hear Annette now, will you like say something in the chat and give her some hearts? Give her some hearts.
Okay, yeah. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
Awesome.
give her some more. Okay, we can hear you now. So, so FamilyCon is coming up then, and but I'm excited for us to like all, be able to be together and just like talk about all these things, because it needs to talk about. And I like what you said. I'm not sure when you said it, but you were saying something like we always have to we fake it. Is that like, were you referring to like feeling good all the time, like in fake, like not feeling good but faking that you're feeling good? Is that what you were meaning by that?
I'm not quite sure where we.
Okay, you said something like, I think it was something like when you're not feeling good, but you're just like, yeah, I'm feeling good. Like you're faking that you're feeling good. Because I think that's like the CF way, is that we do that. Like we'll say we're fine, but really like we don't feel great, And
That's
I think
that
that's
roller coaster.
yeah, the roller coaster. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, okay. And I think that's like, I think that's what we do, right? Like we're like, yeah, we're fine, we're feeling good, but really we aren't feeling good. But I think it's time that we just like say, yeah, we're not feeling great right now, and just own it.
I think it's time we say, I feel effing horrible right now. And really be honest and mean it. That whole perspective needs to come out. We need to vent. And like I was saying in the committee meeting, that is also a stage for us to see what we're missing, where we can improve, where the foundation can definitely, give more support and make some changes. Because clearly there's something, not being addressed. And, on the other side of that, we need some dance parties. We need some movie nights. We need some, spaces where we could just hang out and we all share the same thing, but we're not talking about it at all.
Yeah. Yeah. And I do like that perspective. And I think it's like the behind the scenes, like what happens behind the scenes of CF, like we show up and people see that, but it's like what took us, like all of the stuff that like had us get there, right? Like that's what I think is important to start talking about too. It's like all the behind the scenes.
Going through that today, I was thinking, okay, there's an event, whatever the event is, it's at this time. By the time I get to that point, what did it take for me to get there? To show up like this, after you've done the treatments, the vests, you're doing your therapies, you have to lay out for a little while just to catch your breath, get your energy back up, hydrate, get the calories up before you start burning them again.
Yeah.
And it's like, then you arrive, and it's like, and sometimes it's like, you know what? It's not worth all of that today. I'm just going to do all of that, stop, Netflix and chill.
Yes. And then the next, if you do make it to the destination, what does the next day look like, right? Like,
you did all of that to get there. You might have missed a couple of therapies just to make it. So what is the next day like? What do you have to make up for? What is it going to cost you? That's things people really don't see, they really don't understand. And it's that whole thing of not every disability is visible.
Right. Yeah. And so I want to touch a little bit on Aurora Global. And that's right. I said it right? Okay. Yes. And so tell me about that. Like it sounds so amazing. And it I've been to your website and I've seen all the work that you've done. So what is Aurora Global?
So I started Aurora Global during the pandemic. I started self-publishing children's books. It really started out of my poetry book, and it was really, for one, working with children and seeing kind of a lack in literacy in the area that I'm in. So I really wanted to focus on that and helping other young children, working with some of the kids in my daughter's daycare at the time. And then from there, it kind of spun into, what kind of things are, adults not probably having a conversation or thinking about when they pick up a children's book. So it kind of took me a step further,
Yeah.
and it went into the podcasting. So with the podcast, not only with my books, but with other children's books, we do kind of a review with other adults to see the different perspectives in those books that we might not have thought about before. We might not realize how children are picking up the messages, what kind of messaging is really being put out there. And that really opened my eyes to a lot of things that even, excuse me, in my books, I'm like, I have to really think about this differently. And as I've been making more books and doing more podcasting, I really feel really strongly about when I'm ready to do a couple on CF, because I really do want to expand where we are kind of putting the information during the pandemic as well.
Right.
Started connecting with a lot of diversity groups because it has not been really advertised as a condition that people of color would normally have.
Yeah.
And I'm finding through all the networking, there's a lot of people of color actually with CF. And I feel like a big issue is advocacy. We don't have the information. We don't know what to ask for. We don't know, what to look for when we are getting tested for things that we're not getting the answers that is going to give us, a cure or some type of solution for what we're going through, because they're being tested for the wrong things.
Right.
So it's like I think about all those things when it comes to the podcasting and the books that I'm going to be working on in the future. Through Aurora, I try to also touch on it from the perspective of a child. Because when you are looking at things from a child's perspective, you see the bare bones. Because when you're talking to a child, it's like you have to explain things simply, talk things out simply. So if we are able to do that, we're able to kind of, I want to say, reach more ears, and you definitely want to reach the youth, because working with the youth, we're able to do so much more, especially as our, people get a lot older, which is wonderful, wonderful. There are so many things I did not have as a child in the 80s, just to understand what's happening to my body and, the world of CF. So many more things now that we can go to for resources. I want to be a resource as well. So
You are a resource. You are a resource.
Thank you.
You're welcome. When were you diagnosed with CF?
I was diagnosed at age 3.
Age 3. Okay. And do you mind if I ask how old you are?
38.
38. Okay. So I always feel like that's like something amazing with CF, right? Like I think it's the only, like it's okay to ask people how old they are with CF, because it's like such a badge of honor, right?
Yes. Yeah. Especially from the time when, if you're a person of a certain age, when it was like a death sentence, you really wear that badge proudly.
Right.
Like shine it in your face. I'm here.
Yes, absolutely. I actually just saw, before I started Summer Nights tonight, I saw a meme that said, in 8 years, the 80s will be 50 years ago. Like 50 years ago is the 80s. And I know it makes sense, because obviously in 8 years it'll be, obviously it all makes sense, but you don't really think about that. And I'm like, oh yeah, like 20 years ago. And I'm thinking 80s, in the 80s, 20 years ago, but really it's going to be 50 years in 8 years. That's mind blowing to me. Yeah. So wild. And really it's like, just from the 80s to being like diagnosed in the 80s with CF to now, it's completely different, for sure. Yeah.
For sure.
So, what's your favorite book that you have written, and do you illustrate your books?
I do illustrate my books. My favorite book. Thank you.
You're so talented. You're so talented and so creative. I love it. Okay, so you were illustrating your own books, and what's your favorite book that you've written thus far?
The one I'm working on now which is Nana Said Put on Your Hat.
Okay.
A lot of the books are based on lessons that I learned as a kid. Nana was not as nice as I put it in the books, but the lessons are still the same. And it's kind of basic stuff. And I feel like, go back to basics. Just go back to basics. And it seems commonsensical, but, you know, we're kind of absent of that a bit lately.
Yeah.
So it's like, let's just go back to basics, keep it simple, and put on your hat. So it's, the general theme is, you know, the little girl didn't listen to her Nana. She didn't put on her hat. It was very cold outside. She wanted to wear out her beautiful hair. It's featuring an ethnic character, so it's really delving into a lot of different things with hair. So I touched upon that. And of course, she didn't do what she was told, so she became ill. And you'll have to see how that ends.
Okay. Well, I cannot wait. Will you let me know when it's finished?
Absolutely.
Okay. And where can people find your books?
So my books can be found on Amazon. You can also pre-order through either Facebook or Instagram, because I do give discounts and autograph when they're ordered directly, and I ship directly. Or again, you can also order through Blurb.
Okay. And you can just, you'll have on the Aurora that you'll put it on there when it's finished, the next one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is available for pre-order. It's still being illustrated. It should be available by fall, early fall.
Okay.
On the website, I also have a contact card for any inquiries regarding like commissions and costumes. I'm going to be adding more products for that as well. Okay.
And you make all your daughter's costumes?
99%.
99%? All
Yes.
right. And do you do like cosplay with like at Comic Cons and stuff? Because I know that's a really big thing.
Absolutely. I did a lot in the last couple of years, but you know, as we progress, it gets a little harder to be in public. But yeah, I love going to the conventions, dressing up. I do martial arts, so sometimes I get into, you know, my martial artistry poses and just open up everything that I have. Usually I'll take about 2 or 3 costumes to really like make the day worth all the effort put in to get there.
Yes, yes. And with your martial arts, let's dive into that, because that is amazing too. And I love every time I talk to you, I learn something new about you, and I love it. So which would you say practice? What martial arts do you practice? Is that how you would say?
That's how you would say it.
Okay.
I practice mixed martial arts.
Okay.
Under Kuroshido.
Okay.
My teacher, Kiyoshi Basai, has been working with me, and he is aware. And, you know, it took me a while to be really open. But obviously, you know, as time goes on, being, you know, in that kind of training, it gets really rough. So you have to be honest with yourself as well, you know, of your limitations. And so over time, you know, my training really changed up, but it still serves me as far as being physically active and helping, you know, get that mucus moving, you know, getting things going, and, you know, keeping the airways clear.
Would you say that's your best version of airway clearance? Like that for you, that works really well for you for airway clearance? It's a mixture.
Okay. Because I do a lot of strength training as well, because it's also mixed martial arts. So it involves jujitsu, it involves shokan, it involves the running, the jumping, the kicking, the punching, the grappling. This is so, I want to say, all-encompassing, especially because our style really focuses on things you would use, you know, day to day, as well as traditional kind of karate.
Yeah.
In addition to that, though, I go to the gym, I do yoga. It's never a one-stop shop for anything when it comes to CF.
Right.
So when it comes to like keeping yourself well, you kind of do a plethora of things
Right.
because each target's something different.
That's so true. And that's and after you, I'm having Pamela come on from Beam. That have you tried out Beam yet? Have you been on
Not yet.
Beam? Okay. So that's the session that we're doing at Next Breath. And we will be doing, so we're gonna have like a discussion in the beginning, and then the last 30 minutes we'll be doing a seated yoga practice with like a relaxing shavasana at the end, which is always my favorite part. I go to yoga so I can have the shavasana, but so yeah, so you'll have if you're there at that time of our session, you'll have to join it if you want to. But we would love to have you. So but it will be fun, and I'm excited for Tuesday night. It'll be fun. So what's next for Annette? What's next for you? Besides all the things that you just said, like the book and you know, you're working on advocating and you know, having this, like doing all the things with the foundation and doing all these amazing things, but like what are you most passionate about to, like, in the future, like as far as like any change that you want to see, or just like, I don't know, just what do you want in the future of just, I don't know, any of your like advocacy work or Aurora or anything?
Well, I do want to bring everything into alignment because growing up with CF, you always felt like you're kind of on a racetrack, you know, and you want to do so many things because you're always getting told, you know, things are going to get worse, you're not going to live that long type of thing. And so many things I've gotten into over the years, I'm still kind of doing now, and I want to bring everything into alignment. One of the things I love to do is garden. I've been working with a lot of different like dietitians, different kind of alternative healthcare plans. And I really find that I have a lot of support when I'm working with things that Mother Nature is giving me. Yeah. So I would love to kind of bring all of that into where can we get some alternative therapies with the foundation? How do I, you know, add that into my practice, my lifestyle for therapy? I also want to add that into Aurora Global. I package and I sell seeds. I'm actually working again this year with Stroll You. So everyone check it out in the fall. I am doing a tea class as well as a stitch class. So I'll be sharing links for that as well.
Okay.
And yeah, I kind of want to bridge all those things together. I try to work full time as well, in addition to all those things.
You do everything. You do it all. You do it all. I'm like just blown away. You're so creative, and just everything that you're doing. I love it. I just love it. And I whenever, like, if I can help share with anything, like your new book when it comes out, let me know, because I just love it. And I just love all the things that you're doing, like for Strollo You. When does that usually start, and how long does it go for? Is it go through the entire the fall season?
It's about 4 to 6 weeks. They haven't put out the new date when they're starting yet.
Okay.
But as soon as it is, I'm definitely going to be sharing that. I'm not sure if they're doing multiple seasons again this year. But again, I will be sharing all of those things.
Okay.
I would definitely always love support with advocacy, spreading the word, getting the word out. Myself, I am trying to continue to stay safe and be remote, but it's very difficult with the mandates here in New York to return to office spaces, which is hard for me. Yeah. Again, it's another issue of, you know, policy and the People with Disabilities Act not being respected. So helping people in our condition find remote work, finding advocacy and networking for that, always looking for that. Any resources or networking there, you can shoot my way. I would love to share.
Yeah, that, and Marissa just said, we were just talking about that at Sea Fresh this afternoon. I'm not sure, what were you talking about? Will you just write that in the chat? I'm not sure what you're referring to there, but yeah, well, and I'm excited to see what comes of FamilyCon, and you know, what your, like, the committee decides on, of like what you guys do there. I'm sure it's going to be
it's gonna be
so
amazing.
It will be so amazing. Yes, and I'm excited. I'll be there. So thank you for all that you're doing, and thank you for just all the work that you're doing. It's incredible, and I'm excited. I don't want to say about your I know we talked about like what you wanted to do, maybe do for Rose Up, and I don't know if you want to talk about that, but I'm excited for that too. And if you guys are wondering, you'll just have to follow her, and just stay tuned. So yeah,
You guys have to stay tuned, but I do have it in the link tree if you guys want to click and donate. Much appreciated. As more content comes, look out.
Perfect, awesome. And I will I'll share this in my stories as well, and link a couple of your the books and stuff, so that people can see, and your website, which will be awesome.
Awesome, Sas. Thank you.
Of course. Well, thank you so much for coming on Summer Nights and smashing your first live. You did incredible.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Annette, so much, and I'll see you on Tuesday.
Yes.
At Next Breath. Perfect. Okay. Thank you. Have a great night.
You
Bye.
too. Bye.
Love her. She, seriously, I'm just so amazed, like all the things that she's doing, all the talent and creativity, and the books that she's written and illustrated, and her costumes that she's doing. It's so amazing. I really just feel like this community is so creative and talented. I'm just always so blown away.